The other day in my Twitch chat, me and some of my viewers were talking about who is currently the NL Cy Young winner if the season ended right now. A lot of people were talking about Ranger Suarez. I feel like Ranger Suarez has got a lot of media attention. The Phillies are doing incredibly good right now. Shota Imanaga is not getting the attention he deserves, man. In the offseason, the Cubs kind of came in like out of nowhere and signed Imanaga to a 4-year, $52 million deal. Everything in the offseason was about Yamamoto. Where's Yamamoto going to go? Is he going to sign a big deal with the Dodgers? Like, everything was about Ohtani there for a few months. Where's Ohtani going to go? And obviously, like, the biggest talk in the offseason was Ohtani. Then it was Yamamoto, and they both went to the Dodgers. No one was talking about Imanaga. He ended up signing with the Cubs, and it's looking like the best deal in all of baseball right now, man. So far this year, I wanted to come on here and talk about Shota Imanaga because he is not getting the love that he deserves. He's at a historic pace to start his MLB career. Historic. Like, he's much better than Yamamoto right now. Now, Yamamoto is doing pretty good, but Imanaga is doing that much better. If the season ended right now, I would give my Cy Young vote to Shota Imanaga 100%. So far this season, he is 5-0. Obviously, pitching record doesn't really matter that much. I had talked about that on stream as well. For those of you that don't really know, like, pitching record isn't really something that a lot of people look at anymore because it more so reflects how good an offense does and compared to how good a pitcher actually is. I feel like that used to be kind of a talk like a few years ago. Like, the record meant a lot, like probably 10, 15 years ago, especially whenever it came to Cy Young. Pitching record meant a lot. Like, now it's definitely not looked at nearly the same. It has no value anymore. But he is 5-0 to start the season. It might be more of like a eye type thing. Like, you might like look at it and think, oh, that's, you know, aesthetically pleasing to see that he's 5-0 to start the year. But anyways, 0.84 ERA on the season, a 498 ERA plus, a 2.21 FIP, and all of those stats lead the league this year. I've got to watch Imanaga in about 4 or 5 of his starts. I haven't been able to see every single one of his starts yet, but he's been absolutely lights out, man. The other day he pitched another 7 shutout innings. Like I mentioned, an ERA under 1, which is just unheard of. Like, I believe, 7 or 8 starts throughout the season, 53 innings, I believe, in the season, 53 and 54, something around there. But anyways, I wanted to kind of talk about his baseball savant page and kind of how he's doing this, because we mentioned this a lot in the offseason, and it was a lot about pitcher injuries, especially spring training going into the start of the season. We've seen a lot of guys go down with injuries. I came on here and talked about it, how a lot of guys were getting hurt, and it may be because of velocity, and guys obviously throwing 100 miles per hour. Mechanics might not be, you know, the best amongst those guys that are throwing as hard as they are. Shota Imanaga is somebody that is not like that. He's somebody that's gonna blow you away with great control. He's going to blow you away with great whiff rate. He's not somebody that's going to blow you away with 100 miles per hour. He comes on here and he's throwing like 92, 93 miles per hour. I believe, I'm looking at the stats right now, his Baseball Savant page. He is currently 96th percentile on chase percentage and an 86th percentile on whiff rate. He is somebody that likes to elevate his fastball a lot. So if you're somebody that throws 92 to 96 miles per hour, which is kind of the range where his fastball does sit, if you can elevate that pitch, you're going to get a lot of whiffs, and that's exactly what he's doing. We've been seeing it a lot with Yusei Kikuchi this year. I see him pitch a lot for Toronto, obviously. He is the pitcher that he is most, apparently, according to Savant, he's the most similar to, and it makes sense, man. Like, somebody that relies heavily on a lot of whiffs to your fastball, devastating slider / sweeper. Kikuchi added a changeup this year, which is similar to Imanaga's splitter. He's doing it in a completely different way than what a lot of people have been doing the last few years. Like I said, like, he's not somebody that's going to blow you away with 100 miles per hour, but he's doing it with a lot of whiffs. He's a 100th percentile in pitching run value and 100 percentile on fastball run value. So his fastball is the best fastball in the entire league, and he's throwing it 92 to 96. That should say a lot across the league, man, because like I mentioned, we talked about this in the offseason. Guys are getting hurt at an unreal rate, and people are looking at fastball velocity as the biggest culprit, and I completely agree with that. I believe that that's probably one of the biggest reasons is guys are out there throwing 100 plus miles per hour and thinking that velocity is what's going to get a lot of whiffs, And in reality, it's how you throw your fastball. And a lot of guys can get a lot of whiffs on their fastball. Kikuchi is the same way. Like I mentioned, he's apparently the most similar to Kikuchi across the league. Kikuchi throws a very high elevated fastball quite a bit, and he gets a lot of whiffs on his fastball. I guarantee you, if I looked at his Savant page, he'd be towards the top percentile in fastball run value as well. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. Imanaga is just doing incredibly good things. And I don't know. I feel like I'm just kind of like rumbling on around here. Like some of these videos, I just feel like I come on here and just ramble. But I wanted to come on here and give a little bit of light about Imanaga, man, because he deserves the recognition. He has been absolutely filthy for the Cubs this year. The Cubs were a team that, coming into this year, they lost Marcus Stroman in the offseason. Say what you want about their offense. Their pitching was a little bit of a question mark because Justin Steele was hurt. He ended the season last year with kind of a downhill spiral towards the end of the year. His last few starts weren't that good. I mentioned before that he probably would have been Cy Young last year if the last few starts weren't as bad as they were. Marcus Stroman ended up going and signing with the Yankees, so they lost him, who was probably their number 2 for most of last season. You didn't really know what you were going to get from Jameson Taillon. You didn't know what you were going to get from Assad. Kyle Hendricks is another year older. Like, is he going to take another step back? They went out and got a few other guys for their bullpen, so you didn't really know what you were going to get. When they signed Shota Imanaga, I was like, okay, that's cool. That's a good addition. I hope he does good for them. I didn't expect this whatsoever. I don't think anyone expected this. Clearly they didn't, because he was not the talk of the offseason. Yamamoto was the talk of the offseason, and Imanaga seems to be the best free agent signing so far this year, hands down. And the Cubs got something really special with him, man. Justin Steele is kind of started off the season a little bit slow, coming back from injury. I assume he'll probably turn it back around, but right now the Cubs, I think they're 25-21 at the beginning of this recording. They're probably playing a game right now as we are recording, but and a lot of that is because of Imanaga, man, because every time he goes out there, I feel like I'm always hearing about 6-7 inning shutout. Like, he is doing phenomenal things for the Cubs, and he's not getting enough light, man. I wanted to come on here and talk about it a little bit. I know I felt like I'm just rambling on, and I apologize for that, but I just wanted to come on here and talk about it, and I felt like this was a good time to come on here and talk about it, because he's been lights out, man. Absolutely lights out.